This is going to be absolutely brutal for homeowners. Jeremy 99 Group, your favorite Austin realtor. Just the same day that the March numbers come out, property tax evaluations for Travis County come out, and this is literally going to be brutal on homeowners and all of those investors that just purchased. I think this is what, if people are going to say something's going to crash the market and they're looking at all this crazy data, this is the data they should be looking at. And to add insult to injury, the tax district just came out and pretty much crapped on homeowners and said you're out of luck. And this is the part where you get involved and drop a comment below. Did you see this happen? Do you think that this is going to actually crash the market? Are homeowners in big trouble because of these property tax hikes? Drop that comment below. Okay, so let's start off with the big news first. The March numbers came out and the city of Austin saw a $59,000 price increase from February to March, and year over year 22% increase. So now the median price in Austin is $624. Interesting enough, the months of inventory is now half a month inventory. And if you're a friend of this channel, which you should subscribe if you haven't, this is the time to do it. I've been saying that with the amount of inventory being so low, we've been at like 0.3 months inventory, is part of and a good majority of the reason why prices are still increasing so high so fast. Now, going to 0.5 month inventory from 0.3 month inventory is a pretty big change. And as I'm seeing on the market in April already, we're about almost to 3,000 units, about 2,600 units. Last month, I think we're around 18 to 2,100, 22. So we are seeing more inventory. But the news of the day that is really incredible is the tax district came out and said, on average, they're seeing 40 to 50% price increases for property tax valuations. So the way this works is that every single year, the tax district is going to appraise your property. This is why I harp so much on property taxes. And if you're going, Jeremy, you've harped on property taxes so much, you're not going to do anything about it. You haven't done anything about it. Well, in 2 weeks, I do have a mayoral candidate coming on the live stream Real Amigos to discuss taxes and what we can do in the future. So stay tuned for Real Amigos and I'll put notifications out for that. But going back to the tax issue. So every single year they raise your property values or reassess your property values. From there, if you do have a homestead, it's about a 10% cap on what they can raise it. And if you don't have a homestead, you're going to see exactly what I'm going to tell you with one of my properties. I'm going to give you firsthand knowledge of what's going on. But yes, my neighborhood in Circle C, everyone's talking about being 50% higher plus 66% higher valuation. But if you think about it, if you're a homeowner and you have a fixed income and now it's going to go up another $100 to $200 a month based on that 10%. So mine went from like $10,000 to $13,000 in 2 years. That's a pretty big jump. If you're a homeowner, that's a lot of money. That's like $300 a month from 2 years. Homesteads only apply to people that own homes. All of these investors have poured into our market over the last year. And I've been the one on this channel over and over and over explaining to people the process and the downfall of our tax code system. I'll give you an example. I have a property that's a 1.8 tax rate. So the median, the average around Austin's about 2.3%. You know, like this is why I always say if you're going to be in the 3% tax rate area, be mindful of that. Oh, and I still haven't got to the part of what TCAD actually said about this. So this is going to be the insult to injury. So stay tuned for this. But one of my properties was initially valued around $325 a year ago. This property is now being assessed at $536. So it took my taxes from $5,500 a year to $9,700. That makes it an additional $310 a month. So for you renters out there that are renting and wondering why your rates for your rentals are going up every year, this is it. $310, that's a lot. I'm at the point, and I think a lot of investors will be this year, and this is why I'm saying this could actually crash the market. A lot of investors are going to go, ooh, this is too hot for me. I was barely making money to begin with, and now I'm going to be charged even more. Now look, you can protest your taxes. Good luck. I have won quite a few times, but it's not going to really be that big of a difference. I recommend you protest your taxes. There are multiple places you can go. I use 5 Stone Tax. There's Texas Pro Tax. Just Google it. There are quite a few out there to help you protest your taxes and the valuations, but they're only going to protest the valuation So if you are an investor, you're still, they're going to protest the valuation, which will bring the valuation down, but it's not really going to bring your taxes down that much. So we will probably see a lot of these investors have bought over the last 2 years. They're going to see a lot of equity. Now, you know what? It's just time to get out. I'm going to sell. So I think you're going to see a lot of investors selling. And remember, I did a video not too long ago saying that homeowners will wait too long to sell. Well, here's exactly why. Because what's going to happen, go back to the inventory I was talking about, 0.5 months inventory is what's keeping prices coming up. I guarantee you, viewing this video right now, that by June, we will see that in months of inventory be up over 1 month inventory, which means that prices will start to severely flatten, just like they did last year when we got to July and the prices corrected. What's going to happen is there are going to be a lot of homeowners and investors that say, I can't afford this anymore. Literally, homeowners are getting priced out of their homes. Now, here is the insult to injury. Number one, I'm going to get to TCAD in a second. I'm going to get to them in a second because what they said is absolutely atrocious. But here is what is really interesting. So remember that video I did a while ago that talked about the new tax, which had to do with Prop A and voters voting to have this line, right? It was, a commuter train put in, which is going to be subterranean, underground. Well, that one was slated to be $5 billion. It is now slated at $10 billion. And all along I've been saying the numbers don't make sense. Well, now who's going to pay for that? That's twice. That's another 5 Bs, right? That's increased. So there's that tax. So how are homeowners going to pay for that? And remember, they said, the average home based on 333, you're only going to see $300 a year in property taxes. Well, the average in Austin is 6 something. So now add another $400 to that. Plus, where are they going to get the extra money for to finish this train? Us. According to KXAN, in an interview with Myra Krigler, the chief appraiser for TCAD, she said they're going at 40 to 50%. In a press release Thursday, the agency also said its market values in recent years have been too low. You're kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. Particularly in areas in western Travis County. So here's what they said that really just gets under my skin. The test that we had the last 2 years indicated that we were probably not being aggressive in increasing the values as we could have been. I'm sorry, but homeowners are already struggling. If you try to, so let's say a homeowner decides to sell right now, right? Because you don't actually have any of that great equity until you sell. But when you sell, where do you go? Especially in Austin. I just told you what prices were. So this is what's frustrating me. They're saying they weren't aggressive enough, yet there are a lot of people in Austin in general that can barely afford and were on forbearance during the pandemic. And now you want to raise taxes even higher and not justifying why we're doing this, other than you feel you weren't aggressive enough. That's complete BS to me. How do you feel about that? Do you think it's complete BS? And then, of course, TCAD went on to blame all of the tax hikes on demand, right? They don't have to raise the property taxes and they don't have to raise values based on the demand of homes and prices going up. They don't have to do that, number one. But secondly, they just turned around and blamed everything, just like they did last year, blamed everything on the city council, the mayor, and the city, because the city is who sets the tax rates. Well, remember when I told you in other videos that the city was saying that they were reducing taxes by reducing the rate, but they barely reduced the rate and values went up 50%. Well, where does the extra money go? That's what I want to know. Do you know? Drop a comment below. We'll catch you in the next video. I want to hear from you. Do you think this is going to crash the market?